Good evening, Somerville, and welcome to Eastern and Western Massage. I have with me somebody that you've always seen me with, Michael Coran, who runs a show out of Cambridge Television on Sundays. Is that right, Michael? So Michael is coming to us tonight with trouble using his voice. He's hoarse. How long has it been, Michael? About 3 months, would you say?
About
13 months. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be working with Michael on the Eastern medicine side. So there's going to be a lot of energetic work and point work. So let's begin. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ground Michael. And this is really a pretty good technique for if you have headaches as well. I'm going to take the top of his leg here, and I'm going to angle that off to the edge of his leg. And if you're really, really sensitive and lucky, you're either going to feel, or I'm going to either feel kind of a wire or a well. And what I feel with Michael is a well, which means that there's a deficiency in his stomach channel, which is earth. So this is probably a really good time to be doing this work because we're just about to come into earth season. So I'm slowly working right outside this bone here. You're going to feel a well right next to that bone.
What does it mean to feel a well?
Now I am going to move this a bit so you can see Michael's foot, and I'm going to stick my thumb right in that little well at the base of his ankle, very gently. You do not want to really force any of this. You could hurt your thumb. So a nice soft pressure. And Michael asked me what it meant to have a well. It means you're human. Everyone has a well there. And right next to that well is another muscle. And that's what I'm going to take care of next. So I've calmed that channel down, that stomach channel, which goes right into the throat.
Wow.
And now I'm going to use my fingers to feel for this nice wiry thing. Can you feel that wire, Michael, at all?
Yeah.
Yes, Michael says yes, you can feel that wiry thing. That's a stomach channel. And when you're doing massage, you really don't want to hunch much. I actually am almost totally straight. And notice that I'm pressing. I've got this nice little rhythm going with my body. And as I press, I'm not just pressing without paying attention. You want to be present with the press to make sure that you're not giving too much. Now Michael has a tight spot here. So rather than push into resistance, I'm going to ease my thumb up a bit and kind of retrain that muscle. I'm going into what they call the cow's eyes just below the knee with both fingers. And I don't know if it's coming across on your television, but you can see how very soft and very sensing this hand is. I want to feel anything happening over here and stop anything from happening here to stop it from going up. Stomach channel really should run down. Okay, so you look for that well, and right next to that well is again that kind of stringy, wiry feel, or it should be, and it's a little deficient, which means I'm not really getting that wire, but here it comes. And if you go over it again, nice and quick, give it a little fire, and coax it to come up. Because meridians or channels are very much like people. Sometimes you have to coax them to react. And sometimes they say, get the heck out of here. I don't want to do anything today. So you just have to kind of let it be. All right, going back into that funky little well, the front of the foot there. Again, you don't want to press hard into this. Michael didn't come to me with an ankle issue, so I'm not going to manipulate that too much. And then the webbing between the second and third toe. I'm just going to give that a nice little rub. Now here's a disclaimer: if you're working or you have a spouse or something that is pregnant, you really don't want to give a lot of pressure to the feet. And nice. I'm going to hit the very edge of that nail and hold it. And if you don't have a camera on Michael's stomach, but if you did, you'd see that his stomach is actually rising and falling now. Very deep breathing. And these are things you want to look out for when you're massaging. You should look out for it all the time. See what the responses are. So I've worked the stomach channel. Now I'm going to go into the spleen channel. The stomach and spleen are both earth elements. And late August is stomach and spleen or earth. We're just coming out of fire, which is heart and small intestine. And then you have two curious organs. They're always asking questions. Oh no, I mean, they're not really organs. That's why they call them curious organs. All right, I'm going to go down the side of this foot, and I'm going to take this off so you can see that I'm going right down. See if I can't get a better view for you. Here we go. Right down the edge of this bone, very softly here. And again, I'm looking. Be very gentle with this channel. If you find something hard, you just want to loosen up the fingers and kind of tell those muscles. You don't want to be like that, you want to be like this. Right at the base of the nail there. So right about now, Michael is pretty relaxed. I can feel it from here. And he's also got a little saliva accumulating in the mouth. Michael, am I right or wrong?
Sure.
Sure. I like sure. Sure works for me.
Now that foot is just getting better, so maybe not to work on it, if you wouldn't mind. Is that possible?
Sure.
Well,
Or I could be very, very gentle with it.
very gentle.
Yes, I will be very gentle with it. And I'm going to, I know I'm messing up camera angles here. And right down that stomach line again.
That's really really super careful.
And what I found is some very cold spots by the knee.
Yeah.
Also, this bicep femoris is very, very tight. So on the front of the leg, you actually have two large muscles, and I'm sure you know them very well. You probably have strained them, or you can just see them if you're somewhat muscular, or feel them for yourself. And I'm right in those two eyes. And Michael is now making some sounds with his throat. So you have to watch and listen for all that stuff. All right, I'm going to finish the stomach channel. And then I'm going to address Michael's knee while I'm here. I'm going to be very gentle with this foot. going to run this right down that stomach channel, and again you see this nice little rhythm I got going. Okay, so I just pushed on a spot and it pushed back. So I know that that spot needs more attention. If it didn't pass through, it passed through. And the nice thing, what I'm doing with Michael right now is called Zen Shiatsu. And there are different styles of Shiatsu. But this one is really, really nice because, in my opinion, it's the most like massage that Americans know. You're actually sort of massaging the entire channel. I'm just going to quickly run down this channel here. And into the well of that calf. I'm just going to press the heel of my hand, go around that ankle, and right into the side of the foot. All right, let's get back to that knee. Now, I'm going to go to the inside of Michael's thigh here. And I'm just going to, you'll find this really, really thick tendon. And I'm just going to get underneath that tendon with these knuckles and kind of strum that tendon. You've got to watch your partner because this is often really, really tight. Pardon me. Often really, really tight. Now, I'm going to go right to this bone here. I'm just going to rub with the heel of my hand all the way down. Go to this funky little well. Now, in the center of where the ankle is, you've got this really big well. Right next to it is another little well. It's like between two tendons. I'm going to press into that. That's the liver channel. And bring it down. Now, generally, when somebody has knee pain, I go for a spot called liver 9. And I'm going to uncover Michael for this. I find the knee. You'll find that big bump. And when you go right underneath it, it's usually pretty tender on most people. And while I'm working on that, I'm also tapping into his stomach channel on the other side. And you can see that his breathing has changed. It's usually pretty intense. And I'm not pressing that hard. But that should get some of the blood and fluids to start to get into that knee. Now I'm going to look at the attachments of the bicep into the knee. And I'm feeling around. And I've got this really nasty tendon that I'm just going to strum across. Just to get some movement in there. And his breathing has changed again. I'm going to go for his stomach channel and his spleen channel. So stomach with thumb and spleen with the inside of this. So you can hit two channels at the same time. And I'm really feeling some serious tension just at the knee. So rather than strum or push down or be aggressive with it, I'm going to make nice. I'm good at making nice. And I can actually feel a pretty substantial temperature change. And the muscle's starting to go down a bit. So it's almost like you're taking a small child that's in shock, and you don't grab that child and hold them hard. You hold them softly and gently so they know that they're safe. And with your compassion and your softness, kind of let that pre-mead into the channel. Okay, there you go. But it is pretty cold. I don't know how long Michael has been suffering with this. But clearly there hasn't been fluids moving in this area for some time. It's interesting to talk to you out there and do the work at the same time. I've got to split my attention. Michael, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Have you been eating cold, anything cold, or drinking anything cold frequently lately?
Right.
Okay. What's that been?
Homemade soy milk
Homemade soy milk. Okay.
with ice cream.
Oh, okay. Well, the stomach does not like cold. But it is hot. I mean, the one exception is when it's really hot. But I would ask you to at least have a cup of tea or something at night to bring some warmth to that stomach. All right, and that's nice and warm now. So he also has a little bit of edema, which is swelling around the knee. And just using those few points, it's actually gone down a bit. It feels more like a knee now. I'm just looking for any more tight spots. And the swelling in the cow's eyes has gone down. And I'm just going to run that stomach and liver channel. Looking for any bumps. Now this liver channel, this big bone here on the inside, some people have a succession of bumps, and that's considered phlegm in Chinese medicine. Michael does not have that. Very nice liver channel, Michael. You must eat well.
Yes.
All right. So I can actually feel more bone now, so we've moved some of that fluid around a bit. And I'm going to scoot around here. Pardon me while I grab my wire. And go to work. Now this technique is called ampuku in Japanese. It's a visceral massage. So through the skin I can actually, and Michael has a shirt, so I'm going to just go here. And you can do this right over the body, or right over the shirt. I'm actually going to go in and look for his intestines. And I'm going to just give that a nice little circular motion. And you can feel it, it's just one big tube. If somebody's eaten, you have to be very, very gentle. And if they've eaten, you're going to feel like this is full of stuff. I'm just going to do one round and then bring it back around. Now Michael's stomach is located to the left side of his chest. And I'm going to go underneath and actually tap into that stomach organ. So I'd like you to relax as best you can. I'm not going to go in very quickly, otherwise you won't let me in, but I am going to start to press into that area. And just focus on your exhale. Yeah, I'm not going to fight your breath. And I'm in. I can actually feel his stomach, and I'm literally giving his stomach a massage. I'm going right below his belly button to bring that energy back down. A little rumble to get his mind to go there. Oftentimes, people's mind, we live in our heads. And I actually had a Tai Chi student who said to me they didn't realize they had legs till they came to work with me. And this was a woman in her 30s. Could you imagine not realizing you have legs?
Yes.
Okay, so when I put my hand on Michael's lower tummy, or what they call the dantian, it was kind of empty, it really wasn't moving very much, and now it feels like a tire. It's nice and firm, it has some give, lovely. So now I'm going to come around, watching my wire, and I'm going to go to Michael's head and throat. Okay. So I like to work with cloth over the skin, and you're supposed to in shiatsu. It just prevents sticking. It kind of takes the place of oil, where you use oil for glide. You kind of use the cloth. And Michael just opened his mouth. And this is actually quite tight in here. And now we've got some saliva flowing now. Now, when you're working in this area, you're going to look for the empty spaces. But you're going to be very, very gentle. Don't go slamming in there. People don't like that. So I'm working his large intestine channel, which is...
What's it mean that there's something very sore there?
Oh,
Ouch, it hurts.
well, as I said, this is your large intestine channel.
Oh.
And when you're working with Chinese medicine, it's not just the muscles. We really look at the whole body as an organism, and emotional and spiritual ailments will manifest in the body. And Michael just asked me, what's it mean that his
right over there, yes.
Right, that his large intestine channel is not happy or achy. And Michael has told me that this actually began when his girlfriend moved out. And part of that function of the large intestine is to assimilate and eliminate, which means to take in experiences, kind of digest them, and then let them go, which, right? You eat, you digest it, you let it go. But in this society, oftentimes, we hold on to our things. We don't want to stop being angry at this person, or we don't want to change our ways, and we're not meant to be that way.
So there's a pain in there.
Yeah. So tell me about the pain, Michael. Let me ask you some questions about it.
Yes.
Is it sharp?
Yes.
Is it cold or hot?
If I had to pick, I would say hot.
Okay. So it's a hot, sharp pain.
Yes.
Okay.
Ouch. I never knew I had it.
Well, I think we might have found at least part of the cause of your inability to speak without a hoarse voice. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear that. I can hear your voice already changing.
Huh?
It's a little stronger now.
Yeah, there's some pain in there too.
Yeah. I had a martial arts student who said to me, "How is it that you know all the places that hurt?" And then I said, "Well, I'm a massage therapist. I get to touch the places that hurt, and they're pretty much the same on everybody." All right, so this was really, really elevated, really agitated. It actually felt like a wire. And there's some edema in here as well.
Oh.
So I'm going to go right to that strip of the edge of the strip of the scalenes, and I'm just going to give it a nice press down, a very soft press. And I feel some edema right on the left side here. We're just gonna, now I'm not gonna force that out. You don't wanna squeeze it. This is not what Zen Shiatsu is about. It's really more like working with a trigger point where you find where it's uncomfortable for the person, you stop there, let the warmth of your hand change the atmosphere, and you continue going deep. I'm going to go right to the Adam's apple now, and I'm going to press the skin down, going into the collarbone a bit. Now I'm going to go for his kidney points right at the edge of the collarbone, because the kidneys and the lungs work together. And you can, I believe the camera just caught him taking a nice deep breath.
So this is strong, but it feels good.
Yes. Yeah, well, that's why when people say, I don't want it to be too strong, oftentimes I'll say, well, if it's strong and you don't like it, I'll stop.
Right.
I'm going to go right down Michael's nipple line, pardon the intrusion, right into his stomach channel, bring it out to the sides to complete that stomach channel, right into the horse's or the cow's eyes, and then stomach and spleen at the same time. Now, what's important about this, and I'm just going to do a general pat on the feet, what's important about this is not just the pressure and that you're sensing the whole time, but also that his mind follows the movement, which is why you kind of want to go at an even pace. It's easier for the mind to follow that movement. All right? I'm just going to give his lung 1 and 2 a little rub here because we have another person for our table. Just to make sure that the lungs are touched on, in case that's where it is. And of course, he's only getting a half hour and we're on TV, so it's hard to get the full healing effect. Right into that thumb, little shake. Put it where Michael's comfortable. I'm going to finish with the face, right into the stomach points. Right along the jawline. Underneath the ear, there's a little well. Separates the jaw. Very light touch there, very